sanitation facilities, hospitals, schools. If the government is not permitted to force, if you will, by vote, taxation.
When you admit that you want to take money by force from someone and ask me how are we going to build hospitals or roads, you admit that someone is producing the money, the wealth, that will make those roads possible. Now you have no right to tell the man who produced the wealth in what way you want him to spend it. You need his money, you can obtain it only by his volunteer.
You can obtain it only by his consent. Well, that's Miss Ayn Rand. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she is revered by many libertarians and conservatives. And since FBA has been growing in our political maturity, I want you to listen to what she was talking about back in, it said 1959, all right? And then let's think about our ancestor, Dred Scott, who was suing for his individual right, the right to sue for damages that was done to him. I think he wanted to sue for the right of his freedom. He didn't have the right to his own freedom. So let's look at what she says. Individual rights, the protection of an individual against collective force. Isn't that what's been going on here? We have been owed a debt. We've asked for it many, many times and been told, we'll pay it later, or matter of fact, we don't even owe it at all. But they've got their roads, they've got their schools, they've got all the money that was collected. But they call it for the greater good. That's what slavery was. For the greater good, remember? Productive work is central moral purpose. It's a central moral purpose. We worked from sun up to sundown. When I went to Louisiana, I saw this bell. And it looked like a miniature Liberty Bell. It was huge. I said, Dad, look at the Liberty Bell. He said, that's no Liberty Bell. That's a slave bell. I said, a slave bell? What do you mean? He said, then people would ring that bell in the morning, and everyone would have to get out to the fields when that bell rang. And that bell would ring to quit. So when the bell rang, that wasn't no Liberty Bell. But the Liberty Bell looks just like it. It says, rejection of altruism, a moral rejection of self-sacrifice for the sake of others. Rejection of self-sacrifice? We have sacrificed everything for this country. Every generation. Every generation. Whether we wanted to or not. POWs. Prisoners of war on our own land. They got here. We had little communities. We had crops. We had all those things. We had laws. We had morals. There was no savagery until they got here. Laissez-faire capitalism, a system based on recognizing individual rights, including property rights, where voluntary exchange is the only method of trade. Voluntary. We haven't had a voluntary say in the whole Constitution. And right now, we're watching Congress on the left and on the right run away with the monies that they had when cotton was king. They took that money and turned it and flipped it by using us as collateral at the bank. They were selling and auctioning us on Wall Street as stock, chattel stock. So the 13th Amendment allows them again to continue slavery, forced servitude, if you're a criminal. So that's why you have libraries full of these laws. Anything to trap us up so they can make us do time and become property of the city or property of the county or property of the state or property of the federal government, which is what they're getting ready to do to a lot of these immigrants that just don't know. Piggybacking on the 14th will get you piggybacking on the 13th. So criminal aliens, criminal immigrants are now going to be doing their detainment, waiting for court, locked up, picking for free in a prison farm. The prison farms that used to be plantations. Yeah. Learn some of our history. So when you talk about caging your kids, we had hot boxes. Our kids were fed to alligators to make us comply. And then they had a law in 1669 that they continue where they get impunity if during a correction we die. Yeah. So they won't have to write up the papers. They just say, oh, well, we'll act as if it had never happened. Isn't that what happened with those men that continue to be found in these tall trees? One of them in Cobb County recently. Oh, but unalived himself. Yeah, but they need a fire ladder just to get him down. Dred Scott, one of our greatest ancestors, would sue for these damages. Claw back the money. A reason is absolute. Reason is man's only means of knowledge, a guide of action and a source of survival. Well, the reasoning to do a class action lawsuit is because of past promises and also this poor fiduciary management, taking the set-asides from the 60s and the civil rights movement, from the civil rights bill, reallocating it to the new American immigrant programs, Title I, Title IV, and other ways that they've been ripping us off. Instead of using our money for infrastructure for our businesses, they're sending it to foreign countries, like $500 billion to each African country. All you have to do is take your congressional black congressman or any of the foreign-born, they have foreign homelands. If you're in Congress and you're unregistered foreign lobbyists, stealing our set-asides, moving them around, making it tougher for us. We know who authored those bills and when. We know Biden did the 1994 crime bill. And we know the profit that the Congress themselves has made off the stock market with those prisons. We know how each head of household has lost the wealth that the head of household, the father, could have produced had you not been locking us up with crack cocaine for one rock, 10 years. And then you know how addictive it is, so you give 3 strikes, huh? And then you get life? Joe Biden's son smoked $100,000 from September to October and did no time. He should have been under the jail, past life, from his father's bill. But no, they want treatment. We need all of our people let out. The 1980s just primed everything for you to steal everything. The benign neglect of our neighborhoods. You know you brought the guns in and you made the deal with Colombia. Instead of coffee, they're bringing in Coke. Yeah, Ronald Reagan and Oliver North, General Oliver North. Go watch Snowfall. That's what happened. Just like they do the foreign terrorists, they go drop the cash, drop the money off in their hood, and they fight each other. And our government pays for both sides. Yeah. Crips and Bloods, whatever. These universities that you had pretending to have Pan-African studies, so we take our eyes off of our own land and start looking over there. African American came in 1980s. Crack came in 1980s. Roots came in 1980s. We are the world. We are the children. Yeah, you softened us up with that one to bring in the immigrants in the 1990s. And this whole thing was Clinton and Biden. Yeah, Biden was there all the while the Dixiecrats were mad that they shook hands on a deal with the civil rights leaders for voting. And with your resentment, you turned around and used the state departments and started feeding in all these immigrants. And then you use bilingual preferred to knock us out of the jobs. Yeah, we see you coming. And you owe us. You owe us. And one way or the other, we're getting our money, and we're not going to keep waiting for no damn reparations bill asking for you to do something that you should have been did. You owe interest. The AI said you've already stolen $10.2 trillion just since the 1990s. You have stolen and reallocated $2.2 trillion of our educational funds over to ESL, English as a second language. Training. All that training. You've been putting it over in somebody else's pocket. All those remittance monies. We look at Somalia right now. They haven't even dug a toilet. And you're going to spend how many billions and trillions in Africa? Sending that money right back for your campaign. Oh, Joe Biden, we saw you in Uganda. Apologizing for slavery in Uganda. The people that sold Africans and still sell Africans to this day. They started in 450 BC, those Arabs. And they've never stopped. You can buy African today for $400 to $800 on the black market. You need to stop. All the things that were in the Epstein files, you've done that to us and worse. And worse. As you got out of church in your Christian niceties and string one of us up on a tree, dare us to take our loved one down. I'm not mad. I'm indignant. We're all indignant. No more people of color, no more African American, no more minority, no more DEI. You stop hiding behind the language. That's why Kamala Harris said do something for black people only. No, because she couldn't leech on to the set aside once black people got payment for themselves. She wants to float all boats. No, you want to steal our set-asides. And you're another one, like Obama, that has another foreign country as a homeland. Didn't you do all the H-1B visas for these Indian doctors and dentists? The dentists that come over here and beat my kid? My kid has to go and pay for a 4-year university in bioscience and get her Bachelor of Science or their Bachelor's of Science. Then do 4 years of medical school. Then do 2 years of intern. Well, how do black people get that? Oh, they sign up for the military because you keep the economics so low. That's all we have. You know what? If you even think that you will get away with this, you got another thing coming. because FBA has a long line of intelligent lawyers. Yeah, we do. We just haven't strapped it all in together, locked it all in together. But trust me, these young ones are not the civil rights generation, baby. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. They're going to claw back all the trillions that you have just, hey, the no collateral loans you thought we didn't know about? Oh, Bank of America and Chase? Weren't you involved in slavery, Chase? In Virginia? Didn't you have your slave plantations there? And you're still stealing from us. The NGOs are backing the loans when you know these people are flight risks. They come here and terrorize us, and you don't document it as a threat to Americans. You're not even checking them at the ports of call to see if they've got derogatory threats in their phones on social media, which they do. We've had at least 3 online threats. The most that was done was the page was taken down. Really? And these people are coming from countries where they have child soldiers, machetes and machine guns, Kalashnikovs or whatever you call those, as soon as they can hold them. And you bring them to our neighborhoods. And what did she say? This Anne that you love so much. Let's look and see what Anne said, if I can unlock my phone. Give me a minute, you guys. Let me try one more time to get the code unlocked. Okay, here we go. So Ayn Rand, 1905 to 1982, was a Russian-American novelist and philosopher. Well, I'm a philosopher. Here we go. Who developed objectivism, a philosophy advocating rational self-interest, not turn the other cheek, not give all the clothes off your damn back, laissez-faire capitalism, and individual rights, while rejection of altruism, collectivism, and religion. Yeah, like that slave Bible you gave us, where we never would see the Exodus. And we never would see Revelation 2 and 9 while you're playing over there in Persia. You're not Cyrus. And this isn't the apocalypse. And you're not getting caught up. And until you do right by us, you're probably going straight to damn hell. You might want to get a break. You only did stuff for each other. You've never looked out for us. And our kids are 70% of your infantry. We know what you're going to do. You're going to crash the economy. You've already got everything down with benign neglect. You Democrats. And Rubio and Cruz, I've been watching the bills you're putting so that you can give loan forgiveness to the immigrants. You guys. It is an invasion of our pockets. Get your hands out our pockets. You want to know why there's a problem between FBA? Because we're closing the door on everything that we invent, we develop. It's all been done right here in the USA. Pursuit of one's own rational self-interest. Happiness is the higher moral purpose. But you don't let us be happy, do you? You know about that third stanza in the Star-Spangled Banner that you hide from your children? Individualism. Man is an end and to himself, not a means to the ends of others. That's all you've done, is used us as a means for others. The greater good. So we know what happened with Columbus, the yokes of iron around our necks. We know about Genesis 13. It's Genesis 15, 13, and 14. Joel, too. We know about Deuteronomy 28. And, oh, yeah, we know about Revelation 2 and 9. That's why you don't let the honorable minister on television or anywhere near anything that might let the truth out about who the real people are of the book. You don't want them to know about that, do you? You know what? We had wonderful Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. We had the brilliant Johnny Cochran. But our first was Dred Scott. We will come to you in the spirit of Dred Scott. We will call up our ancestors who've been at the throne of the Most High, moaning and crying for justice that you just don't want to give us. Well, we're going to take it. We have the right to take legal action. We have the right to sue. We have the right to get a court-ordered stay. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, baby. But one thing I know, we're survivors on this land. Our blood, our bones of our family are right here on the same soil you found us when you got here. And I'm even starting to wonder if maybe you didn't bring all them Africans over to fight us like you got these guerrillas now. You brought in the Venezuelan guerrillas. You brought in these African fighter guerrillas. Did you see Ilhan Omar's face? I could see her with the gun, since her dad did lead that coup, that failed coup over in Somalia. Isn't that why you're taking care of her daddy and her? Huh? Was she one of your operatives over there in the CIA to destabilize Somalia? Is that where y'all gonna go next? Because I see China don't even have you on the map. Y'all need to think. FBI, mount up, certified salute.